Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have for you from the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament 2025, Game 1 of the tournament, a Swiss Round 1 matchup between GhostDunk and Tyvarius. On tracking, we have Angel. I am VT Slacker, one of your commentators. Alongside with me today is Elendar. How you doing, Elendar?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm very excited for this tournament to finally get started after all the work we've put in on the new version. Everyone's going to get to see it, and it's going to be great.
Just give me just a moment to get everything resized.
People who have not seen the new 5.0 version, at this point 5.0.8 or something like that, we've got a whole bunch of new features that we're showing off for this tournament, but it's still pretty standard. And we'll go through some of the stuff. I'll give everyone a rundown as we go. But here we are getting started. And it's some islands. First thing, once again, welcome back the return of Starting Candle, so y'all can see the caves. And mixed large and small enemies are going to be on. You can see they're struggling with traditional batch of small enemies being replaced by large in this cave specifically. And there's our first sighting of something new, the fire spell hanging out in this cave. Yes, that's right. The spells and the items have been mixed around, so we can find items on the spellcaster wizards that teach you spells. We can find spells out in the world. We are going to have linked fire this time, so that's going to be something. Who knows what it is?
And I know we won't be showing most of those new spells on the tracker right now. We still have the three main ones, Thunder, Reflect, and Fairy.
Yep. We are going to be using 6 gems throughout the whole tournament, so those are going to be the important ones. All 3 of those are going to be required. I guess Fairy only like 98 or 99% required, but...
And I swear I did randomize this, so I don't know why Trophy is hanging out in Trophy Cave.
Yeah, I mean, you could blame me if you want, but it's definitely less likely now than it used to be, given how many extra things are around. We've got all of our normal items, all of our spells, and a few extra items in the pool. Not in the shuffle pool for this tournament is going to be up and down stab. Those are going to be found in their vanilla locations. And we've got a fire sighting on Tyvarius' side. Is that fire shield? Didn't quite. I don't remember what his base color was. That might be his base color.
Yeah, it looks similar to his base color. Of course, we don't have the like we did with before. We're on the town signs where you had the exclamation point to tell you if it was linked or not.
Yeah, if you find a town and that town has the fire spell, it will still tell you. But I believe for this tournament, it's just always linked fire, unless I'm wrong. I don't know. It's I at one point knew the flags pretty well and then forgot them.
Yeah, I did not check the flags myself, so it's whatever TAH said it as.
Yeah. So GhostDunk gonna go ahead and check for some hints. Not gonna be able to get down stab or the item here, but go west to find the cross. Okay, there's your hint.
But also, Tyvarius checked the sign and it said this is Raft Town.
Yeah, could be useful.
But that is one of the new changes, is that the wizards in each of the town can actually have items instead of just spells.
Yep. And additional new find on the hints here. When these extra shuffles are on, hints are a little bit better because the pool is so big. So we did get a more specific hint that the medicine is in New Kasuto, though. How many containers does that need spell? Question still unknown. And it's our boy Bagu here with the boots.
Yes, Bagu gets a little glow up with this new randomizer.
And basically the best possible item on a island biome. Tyvarius also showing off with bearded Link. You get a beardless Bagu, just for some fun. Don't remember if this sprite also has bearded Zelda.
I believe so.
But new settings, or old settings, players still just going to search through everything here in the West first, especially now that GhostDunk has boots. He's going to have easy access to everything. Ty probably going to be the other way around. I think GhostDunk needs to find boots and Ty has them already. But either way, both runners going to find everything. And we're still looking for Reflect, Thunder, and Fairy. Definitely want to find a glove. We do have fully shuffled palaces. So we can have any palaces anywhere, including GP, not guaranteed to be in the Valley of Death.
Now, the palace layouts, are those still our standard ones that we're used to, where anything pretty much can go in any direction, or are we now doing more of a shape style palace?
We are in fact using one of the new palace styles. We are using Random Walk, which is like the others, a palace style where all the directions make sense, right? So if you go up, you go right, you go down, you go left, you will end up back where you started. Don't do that. But everyone can make sense of the palaces. Tyvarius found a connection to the east real quick, so gonna search for some items here. The particular nature of the random walk is that the layout, the structure of the palace is randomly determined first before all of the rooms. And so you get a structure that is, not biased by the room pool, but some rooms that are unique shapes you might see a little bit more often, whereas some rooms that are common shapes you might see a little bit less often. And we'll talk about some of the new room shapes when we get there, because we're gonna have new rooms as GhostDunk, sticking on the west here, finds Reflect spell.
Good find for that early trophy.
Yeah, and Tyvarius getting a quick sighting of another change that we've got. Bagu has learned, or the River Devil has learned some new tricks. There are some new available options, and in this seed, the River Devils have ganged up to besiege that poor town. We're going to need a flute to get into it. Is that town going to be useful? Who knows?
So, Bagu's getting more work, the River Devil's getting more work.
Yep, everyone gets a possibility. With the spell shuffles on, there's at least a decent chance that town won't be required, though. If it's New Kasuto, we do know there's something good hanging out there as GhostDunk finds a kid. Getting rewarded for hanging out here on the west.
And Tyvarius picked up another magic container, up to 7, which means Granny is available.
That is a quick collection of 7 magic containers. And now Ty also going to pick up his Reflect spell. GhostDunk gonna check these palaces. One thing that our runners are going to be checking when they go into the palaces is we do have an option on to randomize the number of items that are available in each palace. It's going to be between 0 and either 2 or 3, depending on the size of the palace. And GhostDunk sees that Saria has just a pea bag, thought about going to get it, but in fact, the mirror is no longer guaranteed to be in Saria, so without that mirror, GhostDunk can't get the pea bag. Could have gone through and saw what was under the table. Chose not to for now. So by checking either the clouds at the start or the number of statues by the elevator, you can see the number of items in the palace. So this palace for GhostDunk, just the traditional one. If there are extra items or fewer items than normal in the palaces, they will add or remove some of the minor items as necessary.
And our tracker Angel has mentioned in chat, this is Fire Life.
Ooh, Fire Life, pretty good, although GhostDunk has already found one, not only a glove block, but a downstab glove block. So not going to be able to go right here in this palace. Going to check left instead. And that's a dead end, so this palace completely blocked off for GhostDunk. Right. Darunia has the mirror to get a pea bag, so not going to need that. Ooh, and the jump spell was under the table, so going to get Tyvarius his downstab, presumably shortly. We still haven't seen that town yet, but not going to be hard to find with boots.
Yeah, you found downstab.
Did we?
Right,
right. Yeah, we went into the town and couldn't get it. Yeah, I remember now. So yes, Tyvarius immediately beelining for downstab. Makes sense. Fire Life does change things, especially if it's a decent life. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more magic levels than typical for runners.
I was mentioning in chat that life is set at 3 hearts for Swiss rounds.
Oh, nice. 3 hearts, pretty good, especially when you get some magic levels and fire goes down to 10 magic or something. And now GhostDunk also finds his way east, but gonna decline, wants to finish clearing out the west first. At the very least, these hints are nice. And Rudo has the Reflect spell. That is unfortunate for a couple of reasons. When items and spells are shuffled, there is an extra hint added to the pool just to prevent every seed from being 100%, and that hint always tells you the location of one of Thunder, Reflect, or Fairy Spell. Unfortunately, they got the 1 and 3 to tell them what they already knew. Horsehead's got the hammer.
This is Raru with Life spell, which GhostDunk doesn't know about the Fire Life connection, so...
Yeah, well, he will shortly. One notable thing for this version of the randomizer is that in previous versions, it was always intended that the linked spell with fire, if you cast one, you get the other, or vice versa. But because of some bugs, it didn't. Sometimes you always got the spell when you cast fire, but you didn't always get fire when you cast the spell. That has been fixed for this version, so whichever is cheaper of life or fire, they will behave identically. Which at the moment is life. All right, Tyvarius checking, finding this is Heart Container Town, but once again, not going to be able to get the spell here without finding the water somewhere. But instead, there's going to be something hanging out in the fountain. It could be anything. It could even be water. Well, it can't be water anymore.
Give me the thunder spell.
That's a lot better than what you get for water. So Ty with Magical Key now could start doing palaces, and if this is a good one, probably will. About as good as you can get for the first palace.
With one item inside.
We did get a hint about this, but I don't remember what it was.
Hammer.
Hammer. Okay, that's probably worth picking up.
Once again, Ty don't know if Ty got the hint. I know Ghost got that hint.
Uh-oh. Okay, so New Kasuto, also not the Black Town. And 7 containers are required here, so GhostDunk not going to get 2 of the 3 things here. Is going to get his wizard item. Or not. I missed what it was, but...
Yes, as did I.
Okay, he was thinking about it. He's going back for it, so we're going to find out what it is.
Or just get the hint that Saria has a jump spell, which you already knew.
Yep. Many new things going on with hints, but one thing that hasn't changed was shield spell. That's worth getting. But yeah, the hints don't explicitly try to be useless, but it definitely seems like how it is. So worth noting that Tyvarius is digging around in some palaces. We have a whole bunch of new rooms that have been added to the room pool for 5.0. All of them were designed and submitted by community members. So shout outs to everyone who submitted them and gave feedback and helped to edit them. We are going to see some new variations on old rooms, some new tech. We saw in a room Tyvarius was in earlier. The engine now has the ability to have key doors that are at not ground level. That was a restriction that was in the vanilla game and has been lifted. Ooh, only 150 points from those Magos. I mean, enough to get Tyvarius' level, and he's out of here.
Well, and Angel pointed out that it looks like these gloves are fairy blocked in one.
So one has a glove fairy block. That palace GhostDunk was in earlier, which I think was 5, had a glove plus downstab block. So yeah, definitely a lot of glove blocks here, and both runners probably going to be soured on checking palaces until they find themselves a glove.
I also want to bring back up, we saw a River Devil blocked town. There's also a 3-eyed rock that was out there, and we've only seen, what, two of the towns from the east?
Yeah, we haven't seen Old Kasuto or Darunia. We do know Darunia's item is... I guess we know Darunia's item isn't required, and we know Old Kasuto's item isn't required, because we've gotten hints for both of those, so... Not going to need our flute for that town. I guess Upstab and Darunia could still be relevant. And Tyvarius digging his way around Death Mountain. Does not have a glove, but Boot's going to help him check all these spots faster.
Well, we found Spec Rock, but as we know, the hammer is still stuck in one.
Yep. Tyvarius knows the most important thing there is to know about Spec Rock. It doesn't have a glove.
So what palaces do we know so far? You said we've seen 5 and 1.
Yeah, I feel like they have to have seen all 3 palaces on the west, given they have the boots, but I don't remember what they were. GhostDunk.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I say GhostDunk, just having got that hint about jump being in Saria, immediately up aid, went to Saria, got jump, but is now getting down stab.
And Tyvarius found the raft tile in Death Mountain.
Okay, we do know that the raft is behind behind the medicine in New Kasuto, and Ty can get the basement item that GhostDunk couldn't. So that could be an important bit of logic to get to the maze.
That would be a nasty chain.
Yeah, well, it's a nasty chain, but at least all of the parts of the chain have hat hits. Both runners at this point do know, although Tyvarius sort of got the 7 containers almost immediately, and GhostDunk now, 20 minutes into the seed, still only has 5.
And noted from earlier, P5 doesn't have any clouds up front, so I think GhostDunk saw that and immediately checked out again.
Yep. Tyvarius instead in, I think this is this 2?
Believe so.
I don't remember
one
these
item.
windows. Yeah.
Yep.
This is the one GhostDunk was in earlier, and it's glove locked.
We haven't been to the Valley of Death yet.
Yeah, runners probably don't want to go to the Valley of Death, but Tyvarius once again discovering that these palaces are not accessible. Got 2 glove blocked ones so far. GhostDunk gets his magic key, but I mean, he's already seen some of these glove blocks and palaces with no items. I think the way forward is looking like it's going to be on the east.
Or it could be the dig for Hammer Cave.
Yeah, that would kind of stink. I mean, none of our options are good at this point. Most of our runners have cleared out most of the easy spots, at least between them. Tyvarius picking up his cross, not what he wants to see, but if you do have to go through the Valley of Death here, a cross going to be a welcome pickup without Fairy Spell. Nice setup on the encounter skip for GhostDunk, saving him from the nasty Darunia's side encounters, and gets rewarded with a new town. We've seen this town, though. GhostDunk hasn't, but... And Tyvarius also back in the east and decides just gotta stick his face in and dig a little bit deeper. GhostDunk also gonna get his Thunder Spell shortly here, so really we're just looking for a glove and fairy at this point. Nobody wants to check the old Kasuto hint. It does work. I checked it just a couple days ago.
And is the soft lock with dealing with that sign fixed, or is that still an issue?
That sign has it does work. It has been fixed. No one wants to check the hinted old Kasuto just because it's, all the way at the end of the second screen. And
you're talking about that hint.
Yeah, it does work. I checked it because I was looking for was looking in a seed I did earlier. I was looking for the spell hint for either Thunder Reflect or Fairy, and because I still needed 2 of the 3 of those, and Old Kazuto was the last hint I had left, so I ran in and checked it, and it, of course, was a hint for the 1 of the 3 I had already. Oh, the basement had Spell. Okay.
Talk about keys underneath the carpet.
Yeah, so
front doormat.
Tyvarius is going to be able to get his medicine, which is going to get him a hammer. Are we going to see a retrip to DM? Probably at this point. 2 items in it. You never did find Hammer Cave. And Ty not upping, he is going to keep looking on this east. There's still Valley of Death. There's still, I think, 1 more non-Valley of Death palace we haven't seen in the east. And $500 for Tyvarius, close to another level. Yeah, this room that GhostDunk is in right now, this was a room that involves a lot of new tech and created a couple bugs. But I was glad we got it working. And Tyvarius not interested. I think that was the palace he had already seen before. Yep, and is going to check out the Valley of Death. Makes sense. Check it while you're here. Do it if you can, and then he can up A back to the west and go get the hammer and then do DM.
So with the cross, it makes this a little bit easier to walk through.
Yeah, we'll see if Tyvarius wants to just do these intended way or do an encounter skip. Oh man, he tried thundering that Moa down. Too tough to thunder. Oh, nope, just decides, doesn't want to do it. Taking the up A. He's going to go do DM instead. GhostDunk, not familiar with this room. This room's got a couple of things going on. It's got that sneaky little upstab blocked item there. Got a number of levels going on. The upper level of... Yep. And there's a drop there for GhostDunk, but as you can expect, downstab or fairy required to take that drop, and there was no other way to go around to get down. So yet another palace where glove or something else is restricting our runner's ability to advance.
Ty went to go pick up the raft, so now we get to see what that tile was in Death Mountain.
It probably goes to Maze Island. I guess we still have only seen a bridge and a cave connector. We still have 1 more connector out there. It'd be really funny if it led to like a segmented section of the east. We have seen 2 cave connectors. Thanks, Angel, for tracking better than me. Oh yeah. There's a west to east cave connector as well. Okay, I knew there was a bridge west to east. Yeah, so Raft definitely going to go to Maze Island. And hey, there's 2 items in a palace there. again, pretty good likelihood on there being a glove. GhostDunk also in Death Mountain now. And I bet we're going to see... a Hammer Cave dig for GhostDunk. He's already starting to check... caves here. There have been no significant changes to how Death Mountain works. Still pretty much the same. You're still looking for caves that either don't pair up with another cave or are pointing off of the mountain.
And still avoided by everybody.
Yeah, this vanilla-like Death Mountain with the boots to go down the east side is about as kind as a Death Mountain can get. Not a lot of encounters, easy to navigate around without, but GhostDunk is still applying his eyes and looking as Ty has made his way to the maze. Maze Island slightly updated. The rivers have benefited from a couple of bug fixes, and also a small change where previously, because of what I wasn't sure if it was a bug or intentional, rivers could only open up from the left side of the map. Now they can open up from the left or the right or both. As, hey, GhostDunk has found a Hammer Cave. And overall, I would say Tyvarius probably a little bit ahead right now, but if this is the glove, then basically immediately going to swing the race. Because Ty was here earlier and decided against doing it, and that probably means that he's not going to be back here for a bit. I guess there's the chance that he could walk off the mountain and raft away from the maze when he's done here, and just because that's relatively close, but hard to say.
I would think so, just because, especially with the palace right there by the raft tile on Maze Island, going one screen instead of up and A, having to go back through the west, the east, just to get back to Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's just a question of, if Tyvarius was going to do this, was he going to do it? Okay, not a glove, but that's very useful and could be a in logic way to progress, because we do have that one palace that is blocked by Farrier Glove. Tyvarius gets a flute. Okay. Flute is a reason to maybe up A out of here once Ty finishes the palace, so that he could go back east and get to that blocked off town, which I guess is definitely going to be Darunia, so I guess probably don't need to do that immediately, because we have seen the other towns. All right, there's a glove.
I was about to chime in, but of course the glove now showed up, so that kind of makes my point moot.
Yeah, lots of interesting possibilities for where the glove could be, but
because I was going. Go ahead.
Say now that Ty has the glove, it's palace time.
Yeah, Ty has everything pretty much. Obviously, we know where Fairy is at.
Interesting question for Tyvarius, though. Since Fairy is in kind of an out-of-the-way place, and he is in go mode other than Fairy, I wonder if Ty is going to take the gamble on Fairy not being required.
At this point, I would. Just because you have the any key, obviously. You have palace access.
Yeah, I think Fairy requirement is a little bit less likely now, just because of the way the room distribution is in the palace layouts, but it's still one of those things where it's moderately likely, but not, at this point, not guaranteed. Very nice use of Thunder by Tyvarius, killing both enemies on the screen, clearing the fire and getting him a magic up for the refill all at the same time. I missed the item count here in P3, but Tyvarius probably not going to be interested in any items. As we find our first boss here, we get to see another new feature. Shout out to J-Ro-Boy for the extended boss health bars. When a boss's health rolls up, they now have some extra second color of health bars indicating when they have more health than their vanilla value. And yeah, GhostDunk back here showing off that fairy.
See, part of me wanted to using fairy here to get the hammer out of one, to go get the spec rock, to go get like glove, that kind of chain. But of course, the glove is on Maze Island, so that kind of changes that.
Yeah. GhostDunk not do it. There's a little bit of a trick you could do here. If you fall into the top section and you have jump spell, you can jump spell into the HUD and avoid that walk around there. Not required. Obviously, you can clear the room with nothing. There's no logical requirements for that room, but just a little time save for people who haven't seen it. Obviously, if you have glove and down stab, you could just break the blocks. It's sort of the intended strat for the room, but.
See, Nightcrawler's room still survives.
Oh yeah, this room, I like this. This is one of my favorite. We had to add a number of up and down elevator dead ends, and so you'll see that one a decent amount. Got a small item hanging out in it.
Yeah, so a lot of the dead end rooms that we're at are kind of smaller ones. It's a quick little peek in, peek out.
Yeah, the goal was, partially it helps because you know it's a dead end. You don't gotta do a whole bunch of digging if you haven't seen the room before. And also, if we make them short, then people, might actually go in there and get whatever the thing is. If that was like a full-length room, you needed to get the small item, probably no one would ever do it, so. And 36 minutes in, Ty, the first one on the board, but I suspect the rest of the palaces are going to go pretty quick at this point.
Well, GhostDunk got P1 done, so they're both at one palace apiece, but you would definitely have to say Tyvarius with a big lead with that glove.
Yeah, well, I missed GhostDunk clearing P1. That was a quick one. Tyvarius going back in to look at these items. Curious, maybe he really doesn't want to do the fairy gamble. He's just gonna be back here.
And once again, our tracker angel, on top of it, there's one item in P3.
Okay. No upstab here. Tyvarius could jump to cheese these blocks. Oh, cheesing his way through the blocks without jump. Impressive. And this is the item room. Yeah, classic 4.0 item room. All right. Hard container, pretty good pickup. Yeah, Chad, we're pointing out in chat that we did get to see the modified Nightcrawler room. Nightcrawler did submit an update to his previous room with a little bit fewer enemies, a little bit less chaos in terms of what does and doesn't spawn in. So Tyvarius just thinking out to himself what his palace routing route is going to be. Looks like he's doing P5 next.
Yeah, GP is on the west, so I think now that he's up and 8 back to the west, it's clear out 5, go back to the east, clear out those 3, and then come back. GhostDunk in 6 with our famous prison bars.
Extremely unpleasant. Got the happy little trees room, as I've heard this one called. See that one a decent amount. It's a neat room. You've got some good glove tack, jump tack, a number of different things you could do to try and speed that room up.
And then GhostDunk in one of the newer rooms that has an interesting twist to it.
Yeah, you can go up or down. You gotta fight a couple enemies on the high route, but the lower route costs you a key. GhostDunk was thinking about doing the upper route for the XP, but oof, takes a death for his troubles.
And Tyvarius found the same room in a different palace.
Tyvarius now in this room with the Moas and the stairs might be the room we had to modify the most for design and technical reasons. I know Anitsu submitted several revisions on that room until we got to one that we feel pretty happy with. And yeah, okay. So Tyvarius taking out Guma, but Fire got way cheaper at Magic 5 as it typically does, and he's just bodying it with Fire Life. We do have an item room sighting. This also went through a million changes for technical reasons. But it is a drop-down item room. That item is Bagu's Letter. For people who have not seen it before, so that will allow our runners to cross over to the other side of Saria, of course, with the boots. That is completely useless. Bagu, he tries his best.
Well, he got rid of the letter for items that are worth more to us.
Yeah. Every time you take a pointless location. Oh, this is interesting. This is Is this a dead end room? I don't remember. GhostDunk taking a pause and thinking about this room. Oh, and takes a death. If this is the dead end room, then this is. He's gonna check this. Okay, this is not the dead end room. Okay, there's another room that looks a little similar from the start. I couldn't remember. It's saying the logic is as written. The palace logic. Make sure that there are no inescapable dead ends. So if you take a drop, there's guaranteed to be either the entrance or the exit or a loop back to where you were somewhere down that drop. And here, so we see you went down that drop, and while it didn't loop back to where you were before, it did go to an exit here if GhostDunk can go ahead and beat up Barba. Tyvarius getting a little bit bodied, but once again, with the power of Fire Life, no issue. And oof, GhostDunk does not have the power of cheap fire and took a game over, so.
Well, lava is not going to stop cheap fire, or it's going to stop cheap fire no matter what, so.
Yeah. Tyvarius found his item here. It is a 1-up. On average, with the random palace items, we're going to see slightly more items in the pool on average. The palaces 1 through 4 can roll between 0 and 2 items, so they're going to be about even on average. But palace 5 and 6 can roll as many as 3 items, and so that is going to increase the average number of items per seed by about 1. But the variability of the number of items much greater. Also, there is a limit to how few palace items there can be, because there has to it can't replace important items, obviously. And so the only items that can be replaced if you have fewer palace items is the 3 items that are P bags and vanilla, and any starting items. So because we started with the candle, that as well is an option. So 2 total palace items going to be the minimum. GhostDunk still back on the path to the boss, as Tyvarius has placed his 3rd gem. And he's thinking about what he wants to do with XP, or his stream is frozen. I don't know.
Or he's
Oh, no.
stepped away to take a break.
Yeah, I looked at his camera. Tyvarius has stepped away.
There's a beard missing over there.
You know, gonna use the bathroom. You know, get a drink, whatever he needs to do. It's important, take care of your health during these races.
Hydrate, everybody.
And he's back. Decided to take the life level and moving on.
Tyvarius was streaming earlier. He was playing Words with Friends right before the race. So.
Yeah, GhostDunk only attacked 3, but Barba did roll down a bit. One of the other improvements to boss health bars is they are a lot more consistent now than they used to be. There were a couple of bugs where either the first bar or the last bar could be bigger or smaller than expected due to some not great math in the vanilla version. And so now each bar of health represents as close to the same amount as possible.
GhostDunk got Barbara down and almost walked into the drink afterwards.
Yeah, thankfully would not have made a difference because not gonna change his experience either way here, as he does get attack 4. Both runners gonna have plenty of experience at this point after completing their remaining palaces for GP. And Tyvarius is still looking around this P6, trying to figure out where the way to go is. He is going to have to find that drop. That drop was the only way to the boss.
GhostDunk picks up magic container number 7, which of course we know is the path to the raft.
Yeah, going to be pretty good. Hopefully he doesn't try to find the spell first. Ordinarily, you'd want to do that just to be efficient, but in this particular case, you're not going to find it anywhere else. So I think Tyvarius is on the right route.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to see him drop down here. Gonna find his Bagu's note. Not interested for sensible reasons. Drop down again, and yeah, now he is stuck on the path to the boss. Which is good. It's where he wanted to be anyway. GhostDunk ramping up all the way to 8 containers. Still doesn't have magic 5. That is a key point typically for the reducing the cost of fire. And man, speaking of fire, Tyvarius, buddy, should probably cast fire a couple times here.
It's just going with the don't get hit strategy.
Yeah, I mean, not getting hit is good.
there's the fire spell.
Oh, seeing a good jackhammer there too from Ty. Can he get the 2-cycle? It's like no. But 3 cycles still very quick. And so just 4 and 1 left for Ty. Have we seen P4?
I don't think we have, but no one's been in the Valley of Death.
Oh, okay. No one's been in the Valley of Death, so that's definitely where P4 is. I know Ty started going in and he abandoned it. And then P1 is just sitting out in the open. Is Tyvarius going to defeat the River Devil and check out this town? He does want to get upstab.
Yep. Because there's always a threat of the upstab block in GP.
Oh, first try of the super jumper Ty. That is very difficult.
Yeah, I normally have to take two tries at it once I learned how to do it.
Yeah, it's the first try is especially hard because you need to not only jump at the right time, but cast a spell before you jump, or cast the jump spell before you jump. But there's just so little time to do that as you're coming in.
So right now, like I said, it's just Ty cleaning up the last couple of palaces and then GP, and the question is there a fairy block in the way?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the biggest concern for Ty. I'm sure he's thinking about it in the back of his head, but if there's no fairy block, it's definitely going to be Ty's race to lose at this point. GhostDunk still digging further around the east, looking for anything else. But okay, now finally going back west. Thinking about going back west.
He did pick up the medicine, so
yeah, just hasn't gone back and gotten it.
I don't know if he saw the raft tile in Death Mountain.
I feel like he definitely should have. If only because if you have
he went to the east. I don't know if he went all the way southwest.
I mean, he's got to figure it somewhere. Maybe he's here in the east looking for it. Although I feel like if you're looking for the raft tile, you probably should go pick up the raft first.
And our tracker Angel saying he did not see the raft tile in Death Mountain.
One thing that is really subtle, but I really appreciate Initsu doing in the code is we have significantly improved enemy placement in terms of them not floating in the sky. Levers especially. You will now see spawning on the ground in almost all cases.
Does that mean you got rid of the Z2R mascot?
Which one? Oh, the Revo Shark?
No, Wallstaffos.
Oh, I think Wallstaffos are still there. The problem with Stalfos is they spawn in the air. Because, they're meant to, jump down from the sky. And because of that, Stalfos do not respect their Y position. No matter what height you tell them to spawn at, they always spawn at the same height. And so, even if you tell them to move down, they just don't listen. And one palace left to go for Ty. It's going to be Valley of Death. Shouldn't be too far for him. Or he's going to go look for something else. I'm pretty sure Valley of Death is all the way north, right?
I believe so.
Maybe he's concerned about that fairy spell and just wants to check something else here.
I'm trying to think where the cave was to get to Death Mountain. Don't think this is it, because I think this goes back west.
Yeah, that cave is definitely to the west. Oh, maybe you just have to go all the way around here. It's like in the northwest, and you have to do this big U-loop. I definitely don't remember exactly where it is. Ty definitely does, though. Yeah, no, it was just you had to do this big loop around. Because yeah, there's the town that was right next to the Valley of Death. And still no fairy spell for Ty, so we might see some encounter skips here. These lava encounters do have the one great enemy of Fire Life, which is lava. And yeah, Ty is going to do the encounter skips. Makes sense when you've got a cross and a candle. These are a lot easier than the alternative. Oh, GhostDunk forgot which town he needed to turn the item in for. It is not trophy, it is in fact medicine. Oh man. Okay. This is the last of the remaining roadblocks. In this case, a literal block. The option is on to include rock blocks in the east. They're there in vanilla for some reason. They were never there in randomizer. And unfortunately, the rock has chosen to be right in front of Death Valley. And so, I guess Ty does have the hammer at this point, just never went through, and there it goes. So a number of items making themselves required. Hammer being useful here, raft being useful, flute, still not. It tries its best. One thing we haven't seen yet in any of these rooms, we did turn an accessibility option on for this, which is that hidden walls are now revealed. Shout out to Anitsu for real quickly spinning up a texture and doing some coding so that invisible walls no longer look like regular walls. They look very similar, but they have a look to them where you can tell, hey, you're gonna drop through here. But similar to the old rooms, with the new rooms, we have tried to avoid invisible walls as much as possible, because they're not fun. Tyvarius, intentionally or unintentionally demonstrating another change that was made. Ground lava is now way less lethal than it used to be. The hitbox has been updated to make it so lava the hitbox no longer extends a tile higher than you think it does. So you're a lot less likely to accidentally get sucked in because you ferried too close to the lava, not realizing that the hitbox is like an entire tile above the graphics. Ty cat. Alright, Ty not interested, slowing down even a little bit. Has fire life, doesn't care. Free magic, doesn't care. Just in full go mode here. With no fairy spell, he's going to have to break some blocks. This is actually a really good place to cast fire, not only for the life, but just because the fire effect is going to be helpful at clearing out these heads. Oh, and Matt with a dead end. There are a couple of updated versions of some of the existing dead end rooms that are just shorter. But we have specifically avoided having troll rooms, right? Having rooms that look like a different room. Anytime there's a room that's a variant of an existing room, it behaves the same as that existing room. So if it's a shortened version of a dead end room, it looks the same at the start, and it's just shorter. It's still a dead end, not gonna secretly be a pass-through or anything. So GhostDunk, raft in hand, going into a maze. Gonna get his glove. Gonna be upset. Tyvarius was in this room earlier. Gonna go left though. Decides left is the way. Despite the layout being logical, I have lost the way in here. And another magic pickup and a health refill for Ty. And here's going to be Karak. We do, as before, have hard Karak on. With Fire Life, it's not going to be particularly hard. His positioning from Tyvarius makes quick work. And a quick up A, probably only about a minute, and we're going to see Ty tackling GP. Not quite a sub-hour entrance, but a pretty good time. Seeds in this flag set a little bit longer on average than before, but still not too much longer. And Ty has everything he could possibly need in here except the fairy spell, so... if that comes up, GhostDunk is going to gain a sizable advantage back. And welcome to new GP rooms. This one was one of my designs. For anyone who thought that the extra new room types were going to save them from the wrath of waffles, they are wrong. We've got all sorts of new waffle variants to fill your GP with. And oh boy, that is a lot of birds. There have been a little bit of Kingbot improvements to try and prevent them from trolling you, and wow, basically immediately, here's a Thunderbird. Required Thunderbird is on, so this is going to be part of the way to Dark Link. There's an additional flag that is on that says the minimum number of rooms from the start to Dark Link is going to be 8. It could be more than 8, but it's guaranteed there is no path to Dark Link faster than 8 rooms. That'll be increasing to 12 for our bracket races. But you're not going to get any turbo GPs. Could still get some fast ones, though.
And a lot of that was also with Thunderbird being in the way normally stretches them out a little bit more. I know with Max Rando, that's when you kind of got the quick GPs where Dark Link was a room away or so.
Yeah, here we could still going to be another couple rooms before Dark Link could appear because that was a pretty quick Thunderbird. So now it could be in either direction, and we're starting to get our traditional GP works.
Needs more birds.
Yeah, length has not been changed here in GP. We're still on our traditional shortened GP.
And sorry about that. I did have to step away for a little bit because it's the kids' bedtime.
Yep. It's been pretty straightforward as we expected. Tyvarius blasted his way through the remaining palaces, and not too long into GP found Thunderbird, and not really got a lot of mana left, and okay, gonna take his first death.
But I see a spot missing on our tracker for him. I still see no fairy spell.
That is correct. Tyvarius does not have a fairy spell, has not gone back to Death Mountain, not gonna go back to Death Mountain unless he finds a fairy block in a bit here. So yeah, that blue color there that Tyvarius walked by is the color of hidden walls. They have been revealed. It's going to look a little bit different just based on what the palette is in your particular palace, but Tyvarius is not interested going down that hidden path, similar to other hidden paths. It just leads to a statue, I believe, is in that one. And
also, I'm sorry about not switching the audio over to Tyvarius. He said he possibly would not have clean audio, so.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I believe, is a pass-through, yeah. Tyvarius, so. Lots of options still available to him. Ooh, here's a drop. There's a drop in this room. Tyvarius not going to take it, just going to hold right. Sensible. Oh, decides against it with chickens over lava, going to drop instead. Maybe not going to drop. Going to go above. This makes sense. One of the things that is a consequence of the way logical palaces work is that it is in general better to be up than it is down, just because if you do see drops, you could drop down, but you cannot drop up. So it's a little bit more flexible. Being high, though, obviously it turned out to be a dead end here. And gonna take his chances with the birds instead of dropping. This is where Fairy Spell would be really useful. Because, oh boy. And somehow makes it through that mess. Okay. Yeah, Fire Life MVP. Oh, is this gonna loop? This is what we're talking about. Yeah,
it'd have to go into where the drop would go from the other room. There it is.
Yep. Can Ty continue from here? Decides against it. I don't remember. I think that room is just that room might have had another drop. I don't remember. Despite having looked at all of the new rooms a lot. Okay, that is a dead end. I certainly don't remember all of them. There is a website that is linked in the Discord that Initsu made that is a visual guide to all of the rooms in the randomizer that could be sorted or filtered by different layouts, different room pools, all sorts of different options for cutting it down. Very useful to help learn the new rooms. So we'll see where Ty goes here. GhostDunk having some trouble with that room. That room originally had invisible walls in the sides. that one was a mess. Yeah, GhostDunk is glove blocked back in this palace. I thought he had checked all of this before without the glove. He just somehow never put together a raft into May's glove. So Tyvarius, yeah, after the up A, gonna hold left. Opting to not use shield, saving his magic for more fire life makes sense. Oh, Tyvarius doesn't have shield. Okay, I know GhostDunk had gotten shield. Fire life probably better either way. Yeah, this left is new for Tyvarius. And hey, look, it's birds. And sensibly, Tyvarius gonna do the down before the up. The up there. You know, when you do these you gotta learn some of these tricks when you do these palaces. That up, Tyvarius had already been a couple levels up from there and had also been to the right of where that went, and so it was very likely going to be, even though there was a way he could go there, it was very likely to lead to a dead end just because there was more palace in the way of that route.
Mainly just remembering kind of how the palace is laid out and the kind of its structure.
Yeah, if you could, you know, either map it out on paper or keep track in your head, it can help you to figure out some tricks for which way you think is it's going to be it. Both down and the left, pretty reasonable here. Tyvarius going to go left.
Probably still going the rule that being higher is better.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. I don't see. Here's where I don't remember whether this left path is going to start to intersect with the entrance again. I think he might be too low for that. I think he might be going under the entrance. One recommendation I have for people who are, you know, playing their first seat or two on these new settings, there's a new option to play in spoiler mode. If you do, it will generate some overworld maps and a text document that has palace maps and where all of the items are, and just generate, you know, run a couple practice races in spoiler mode, and it will, you know, help you, you know, to learn how things are structured. And if you get lost, you can revisit. It is worth noting that spoiler mode has a safety in it to make sure that spoiler mode races are all completely different than their non-spoiler equivalents, so players can't get any additional help during races. Although there has been some talk of spoiler races. Oh no, and Ty taking another death, not having fairy spell there, absolutely crushing
He took 3. That would have been his 3rd death to lava on that run.
Yeah, and just doesn't have fairy spell, and those rooms are a lot harder. You're so used to having fairy. We haven't seen any fairy requirements yet, but boy, would it be useful right now. With how long it's going to take him to get back there, it's gonna be a big difference. One notable property of this first waffle room that Ty is in is this waffle room is actually a drop zone. You can drop into it, and if you land in the middle, it can be a bit mean. Sometimes you get lucky and you land on top of the waffles, but making your way through waffles it's just a GP tradition. There are an absolute ton of different waffle room varieties, both in the older room pool and the newer room pool.
I mean, it's a staple of GP now.
Yep. So okay. The thing I'm going to keep in mind as Tyvarius is going through here, he went up 1 level, and now he's gone straight right. So I am going to see how many levels does he go down before going back left, and is he going underneath the entrance?
Because where he died, though, he had gone up and started to go back right again. Because you said he was going underneath the entrance, so that would almost put it back on level with the entrance, if that's what was happening.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky because ordinarily you'd, as you're routing through palaces, you'd want to avoid that kind of routing because you're trying to dodge dead ends. But, any right-facing dead end can just be Dark Link, so...
Yeah, Dark Link is a dead end himself.
Yeah. There is no special logic for Dark Link other than the same as the old logic where the up, down, and right versions of Dark Link all equal chance. And that is the thing that is determined at random at the start of seed generation. And so it is always exactly 1/3 for each type. Item rooms have been reworked a little bit. Previously, they had an equal chance to appear for each entrance type, but because we have so many different kinds of item rooms now, drop item rooms that are on angles, etc., it's been updated so that item rooms are now a roughly equal chance of each shape rather than each entrance type, which ends up playing with the new room styles more than likely, more or less like what you expect with the old rooms, pretty much exactly how it was before.
Tyvarius into the lava again.
Yeah, this is not having fairy spell, man. He is 0 for 5 now against the lava. And man, GhostDunk is taking his time catching up, but he is catching up here. I mean, if Tyvarius takes too many more lava deaths, he might actually just decide to leave and go hunt down fairy spell. Because he's on his last life again here. And GhostDunk finishing 5, gonna presumably check the last of the maze checks before he leaves, find his glove, and he's seen all of the remaining palaces so far, so couldn't take him that much longer to clear them all. Absolutely could still have a race here.
I think Ty tried the other path left that he didn't take before and ran into a dead end.
Yep. Yeah, no, this path he was on that he died on appears to be the right way, but another very subtle small change that was made from the room Tyvarius was in is we have fixed the vertical bubbles, they no longer do way more damage than they should.
They no longer hit like trucks.
Yeah, they hit about the same. So, okay, now Tyvarius has a choice. He could go up into the room he died before and deal with the lava, or he could take the mystery drop. I really like this drop. As I mentioned before, drops can't... oh, this is the room he was just in. That's the dead end he was in. Okay, never mind. No, he
knew where that was going to drop, or should have known.
Okay.
Going off pallet structure.
I wasn't keeping track. But yeah, in general, I really like drops because drops have to either loop back to where you were or take you to the exit, right? So if you find a drop, unless you think it's going to loop you, which there he definitely should have thought that, but I didn't either because remembering things is hard. Yeah, I mean, drops are likely to lead you to Darklink.
Yeah, especially with it now with this palace layout, you're not worried about looping back to Thunderbird like it used to be. Because the old palace style, there was the possibility of a drop taking you to a room before Thunderbird.
Yeah, and not the case now. Well, I mean, unless that drop is before Thunderbird.
And now put it up to number 6 for lava deaths.
He's going back in. Not gonna get fairy. Doesn't think it's worth the time. Just gonna put his head down and man, this P6 has not been a kind roll. This is a pretty long required path to Darklink, and lots of birds, lots of lava. Although I have to imagine if Ty had fairy spell, he'd be done by now. He does have a lot of magic between 7 bars and magic 6.
It's the most not required fairy spell ever.
Yeah, technically not required, but would have saved 15-20 minutes. Meanwhile, GhostDunk still without his glove. Oh, nope. Can't fairy that. You can jump spell to make that a little easier, but... GhostDunk looking for something here in 5. I don't remember if 5 had any items.
No, 5 didn't have any items in it.
That is unfortunate.
You have to keep track of that going into a palace. How many items does it have? How many have I found so far?
Yep. For people who use Emo Tracker, there is a new updated 5.0 module that allows you to track the number of items in palaces, just a +1, -1, kind of a thing.
But that means, though, if there's no items in the palace, you have to remember to mark that there's no items. Or
similarly, if there are 2 items in the palace, remember to do that when you come in and not forget, and then be like, wait, how many items were there? Do I still need to go? Oh no. There is no feeling worse than like beating a long P6 and being like, did I get all the items?
Yeah, one of the first seeds I did with the new tracker, I forgot to mark that a palace didn't have any items in it, so.
Yeah, see, I had the benefit of playing a lot of early seeds back before the shuffle. I don't think it either couldn't or it was bugged before. We went through some iterations on palace item counts. They used to be higher. They're a little bit lower now than they used to be, and I think it's pretty good. All right, so Ty is back to the room he died in before. I think he's still. Oh no, sorry, he's got to go through a little bit first. I think he's still got all of his lives, and
yes,
yeah, that room he died to the lava munch in, he is going to be cautious.
But the But he was at the same spot here because he died once in this room and then twice in the room above it.
Yep. Oh, almost got beat by the Mew there. All right, so this is going to be the room, yeah, that he died in before, and I think we're going to see maybe a jump cast. Maybe he's going to kill this bubble first. He's definitely going to be safe. I gotta believe he's going to be safe. For me, I'd be killing those bubbles.
And there he goes into lava again.
All right, well now he's got enough to cast Thunder. That's going to help a bunch too. But yeah, I'd get this bubble, kill both these bubbles first. Just the taking a game over costs so much time that just be safe, be slow.
The spicy chicken is not cooperating.
Does back up enough to be stabbed off.
But there's one on the bridge behind it.
Yep, this lag gonna be helpful. Make it a little bit easier to dodge stuff, doing some jumps. Very nice.
More chickens, more lava.
Oh, yep. Gotta be a little bit slow in that room. Not a new room, but I don't think this is I think this is a 4.0 room. But yeah,
yeah.
Whenever there's a possibility of chickens, you wanna slow walk a bit, but Ty just putting his foot down, he's like, Darkwake's gotta be right here, man. No! Dead end.
So what? Which path have we missed?
I think there was one more drop available to Ty that he skipped on the way, and he thought that was gonna be the way, and no.
I rolled a nasty seed, didn't I?
This one's mean. The overworld it wasn't too bad. It had a little bit of fiddliness to it, but this GP. Angel saying there's two of the same drop room right next to each other, and he took the wrong one.
Overworld had some backtracking and a possibly forced DM. Once again, the not required fairy. And then this GP being full of birds. I'm proud of my handiwork.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right, GhostDunk taking a pause, trying to figure out what haven't I done? Where haven't I found stuff? I'm a little. We know GhostDunk has gotten the raft. He cleared P5, and then just never got the 2 items off the maze. Like he doesn't have either maze item marked on his tracker.
So I don't think he's been to the maze.
He had to have been the maze. He beat P5. P5 is on the maze. Or is that P3? P3 is the maze. Okay.
Yeah, he's at P5 right now, where he's standing.
Okay. I was just looking at Ty's tracker, and it's laid out a little bit differently than I'm used to. Got the compacted streamer mode. Yeah, he's got the raft. He just never found that raft tile on DM. Well, the good news is
jumped back into the race room and hasn't said anything there, asking if this is a beatable seed or anything like that. So
yeah, he is. I mean, he knows that he's got to find the raft, right? Like he's got all his connectors marked on his tracker. Oh yeah, that is the room that Ty could have dropped down in. Doesn't take the drop, going left instead. And
into lava again.
Yeah. Oh no, he turned back around. That death saving him. Turned back around, taking the drop. Here's the drop to elevator converter room. Here's a Dark Link. It's right here. It's right here the whole time. And big smile on Ty's face. Finally finding Dark Link, having a bit of a laugh about it, and just a few more stabs. Ty is gonna finish this race. The official race time 1:29:49 does finish just under an hour and a half after that awful GP. And yeah, GhostDunk has immediately thrown in the towel.
Try to see if they want to come in for interviews. It looks like GhostDunk will. And he said in the race room chat, "I must know."
He will pretty shortly. And Ty showing up on stream right now. The last of the cool new features for this new version. Big shout outs to J-Ro Boy. I don't know if people got a chance to see that. Ty closed it down pretty quick. Very, very pretty stats screen at the end showing you a breakdown of all the different things you did, all the time you spent in GP. Nice chronicling of your misery. We should have both runners here in just a second.
Just waiting for him to make it to the waiting room while I get the stream set up. My internet's being horrible tonight, so.
It's been a night for technical issues all around.
Which is strange because I did a restream for the Zelda 2 All Keys tournament, which went perfectly fine. Still waiting for them to join the waiting room. Oh, there. Never mind. I found them. And there they are.
Howdy, howdy.
Good evening.
So you want to know where it's at, Ghost?
Yes, I do.
Southwest corner of Death Mountain.
Oh,
Oh no.
I was so close.
Oh no. Yeah, that'll do it.
And just in case you probably already know this by now, though, Tyvarius, Hammer Cave has the fairy spell.
Yeah, I knew Hammer Cave either had the last magic container or fairy spell, and then the other one was under the rock. Everything else is accounted for. Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
Because we counted how many deaths into the lava was it for you, unfortunately?
Six.
Six.
It was six.
No, I
lava
think it was
deaths.
up to 8.
Was it more? There's a lot. There's a lot of lava deaths. Would have been nice, but I understand not wanting to go back and get it.
Yep. Until I saw a hard fairy block, I wasn't going. Boy, howdy though. That was a fun GP.
It was a GP that you full cleared.
I guess I
Yep.
consider myself lucky. I didn't even have to go.
I mean, if you take the very first drop you encounter, it's a free GP. But if you ignore that drop until the very last spot, then yeah, it's fun.
This is actually my sort of de-rust game. I haven't played in a while. I was gone last year. I'm back now, but this is my first time on 5.0, and I was very confused by the new excellent options that we have available to us in the flag set. As I was like, what is this orange bot on the floor? But it's the spell, of course.
Yeah, Irene did all of the sprites for all of the new stuff, and mostly they're as obvious we can get. Some of them.
What's the one that looks like a note?
That
Bagu's
is Bagu's note. That lets you cross Saria. It's great.
Okay.
I did have a seed recently where it was logically required, but with early boots, it was it's kind of a done.
That makes sense. I paused and stared at it for a while, and then decided I didn't need it.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that went through some iteration. Because like, how do you in a 4x8 or whatever it is, it is 8x16 pixel image. How do you convey Bagu?
Can you just put a tiny Bagu?
Irene would know. Feel free to ask in the sprite channel.
I was just curious if that was one of the suggestions.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not three colors at 8x16 is tricky for some of these, but that's a fun one.
It's awesome. No, I really love the new community rooms are really good. I really like them. Some are a bit annoying if you don't have glove, but I think that's the point.
Yeah, we tried to keep the number of rooms with different requirements roughly like in line with previous stuff. I know this seed happened to give us a number of glove blocks, but most of the glove blocks had alternatives, right? We saw that one palace with a glove or fairy block. We had the glove down stab. We had a few different fun glove block opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, if once it becomes a glove hunt, and I didn't bother checking a couple pixels southwest in Death Mountain, it becomes pretty difficult at a certain point, because I was wondering just how complicated this seed was that I was spending so long looking for the glove, and fortunately for the both of us, Tyvarius had found the hidden place.
Yeah, you had a pretty quick time overall, just a little bit over an hour heading into GP, but other than GP sort of kicking you a number of times while you were down. Pretty smooth.
I was feeling decent enough, recognized, the glove blocks, glove fairy blocks, things like that. I'm like, okay, logically, what can we do? Stuff like that. And yeah, GP was, half my time, so that never feels good. But I don't know, I'm still not sold on this style of palace layout, but I get why we're doing it, and it's like that's what both helped me find Guma so quickly. Is I'm like, okay, there's one tile in here not accounted for, that's probably Guma, and sure enough it was. And then that's what also destroyed me in GP, was just trying to find the end of a linear path before I took a new one.
Yeah, I actually found Guma relatively quick, but of course I was looking for the glove or the flute or something. So I decided to explore the rest of the palace anyway.
Yeah, a thing with random number of items per palace on, a thing to be a heads up on is both the number of clouds and the number of statues stuck in the wall on the start screen tell you how many items are in that palace. So there were in fact no items in that P5 to find.
Oh, well. That would have made me lost. That would have made me lost earlier.
Yeah, P's 5 and 6 can have up to 3 items, and then the rest of the palaces can have 0, 1, or 2.
Oh wow, these are some cool changes. We're getting closer and closer to Link to the Past levels of complexity. Not there yet, of course, but it's getting more.
It's okay. We could show them up with new overworld shuffle stuff.
Oh yeah, true. But then I had a ton of fun playing this. I'm gonna have to do some practice games before next time. Wasn't able to get there for this weekend, but gonna study up on all these new changes. And I really appreciate the restream. And I didn't realize this would be the first match of the tournament, so I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yeah, thanks for being super easy to schedule with GhostDunk. As you know, I'm like, I think I've raced him before, and sure enough, 2022. Okay, it's been a hot minute, but hey, let's go again. And super easy to schedule with. Thanks for the restream, friends.
Yeah, you guys are fantastic for doing this.
Well, thanks to both of y'all for putting on a great show. I know it was very tough, a lot of backtracking and everything, but y'all tried your best to it, and we greatly appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you, Elendar, for coming with me, and definitely want to thank Angel, who had to step out because Angel is going to be setting up for our 10 o'clock race. It's going to be happening in a few minutes. Who actually is on that race? Let me check. Of course, my internet's being horrible this evening, so it's probably taking me forever. It looks like it is Big Slamu versus Malcure for that race, so we'll probably be raiding over there shortly. But any other final words before we leave for this evening?
It was a fun time. It was a good showcase of what the new version can do.
Yeah, no matter how frustrating it gets, I still have fun every time.
Well, if you or anyone else in chat wants to try out the new version or has any questions, go ahead and check out our Discord, and people will always be there to help. I can answer any weirdo questions about the new versions as well.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next time.